There's a sort of a coalition of activists here in Vancouver called the Drug User Liberation Front, and it's got people from lots of different organizations like VANDU, like the BC Association of People on Opioid Maintenance, which I'm also a part of. And so those three organizations got together 2 weeks ago and did a distribution of meth, heroin, and coke that had been tested through FTIR spectrometry. So scan them to make sure there's no fentanyl or no benzos or anything like that in there, that people are getting just what they think. And they were distributed, the drugs were distributed to the members of our organization. And they were pretty small. It was a couple points each person. So really not enough to rock anybody's world, at least not anybody who was there. If you haven't ever done it before, that will definitely rock your ass. But I think the idea was to show here's a possible future. And we're trying to address the problem. The problem isn't whether people are using drugs or whether they're wired or have an addiction or any of that shit. The problem is that people are dying from toxic drugs. And half of the people that die are not what you would call people like me, like with opioid use disorder, who have everyday wired to it kind of thing. Half of those people are just like weekend warriors and all that. So it's like anything that's aimed at like more treatment or more recovery beds, that's all very nice, but it's not going to hit the less deaths. And that's the real problem. At least that's the problem that we're interested in solving most quickly. And you were mentioning a minute ago about the pandemic, right? Like the public health response to COVID-19. And in British Columbia, that included massive vaccination rollouts to 5 million people, sometimes in some cases 3 doses inside of 1 year in 2021. Most of the province, like a huge, towards 90%, got vaccines through massive clinics, right? So if you can do that, you can also do the same thing for safe supply, because pharmaceutical opioids are basically the vaccine for overdose deaths. And just like the vaccine, for COVID, it will likely prevent you from dying or serious hospitalization if you catch COVID. It's not going to solve every problem. It's not going to end the transmission of COVID, blah, blah, blah. It's not the silver bullet magic unicorn fairy, whatever. But safe supply will likewise really end the overdose death crisis overnight. And if people's concern is about drug use or addiction or something like that, that's another problem. But if you want to end the deaths, that's what you do.